The starting goaltenders are brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of the NHL. Ilya Bryzgalov's last start was a week ago in Vancouver. He made 25 saves in a 4-2 win over the Canucks. Bryzgalov has beaten Buffalo 6 times in his career. Meanwhile, 25-year-old Swedish Olympian Jonas Enroth takes on the Oilers for the first time in his career. And Jonas Enroth came on in relief Saturday for Ryan Miller in the game in Colorado. He gave up 2 goals on 12 shots in a 7-1 loss for the Sabres, the most goals they have given up this season. The Oilers were in Buffalo to start this road trip. They dropped a 4-0 decision to the Boston Bruins. That is the 7th time they have been shut out this season. And this one is underway, the first of 2 meetings between these two teams. They'll hook up again the 3rd week of March in Edmonton. Here is Tyler Ennis, centering pass. He was looking for Linus Ullmark, the former Edmonton Oilers, on that line along with Drew Stafford. Back the other way, the second line getting the start. Here is Jeff Petrie with a shot, and he scores. Petrie right away. 32 seconds into the hockey game, and the Oilers have a 1-0 lead. Petrie jumps on the rush. Louis, we didn't even know if he was going to play tonight.
You know, missed practice yesterday because of a foot injury, blocking a shot, had a boot on yesterday, but boy, does he ever jump up in the play here after a good chance at one end, a good drive back the other way, and for Petrie, he just comes into the zone. This is a pass to the middle that gets away a little bit here from Yakupov, gets a piece of it, but it's Petrie that picks it up and puts it home on the backhand side. I thought it was Ales Hemsky with the way he jumped up in the play there with that white tape on the stick, so a nice finish there by Petrie to get up there and give his team an early lead.
Jeff Petrie came into the game without a goal in his last 18 contests, but he's got the Oilers on the board in the first minute of this game with his 4th of the year. And the Oilers have a 1-0 lead, looking for more. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has it go off the end of his stick. Hall centers it in front for Eberle, and there is Enroth to cover it up.
And a smart play by Enroth there to tie that one up.
On behalf of the Safeway Score and Win contest and post-cereal Shreddies, Kelly Vett of St. Albert has won the Lagostina 10-piece stainless steel cookware set on the goal by Jeff Petrie. Schultz at the point. It's Nick Schultz playing with Justin Schultz as the top line will stay out there. As we mentioned, Taylor Hall off the top, 54 points, a career high for him. He is tied for 12th in the NHL in points. Myers moving in. His shot goes wide. Steve Ott trying to keep it into the blue line. He cannot do that. D'Agostini will give it to a guy playing his second stint, Henrik Tallinder, and his second go-round with the Buffalo Sabres. Petrie gets the goal from Yakupov and Perron 32 seconds in. And for Nail Yakupov, his 11th assist. And for David Perron, give him 18 helpers on the season and 10 on the road.
You know, Kevin, this morning Dallas Eakins was talking about that second line in particular, wanting to see a little bit more from them, generate more chances, and take a little of the pressure off the top line of Edmonton. They go right out their first shift, score the first goal of the game. I think that's answering the bell.
Starting lineups brought to you by Boston Pizza, your hockey headquarters destination. Back to the point it comes. Here's Ehrhoff's shot, and that is stopped by Bryzgalov. And he'll hang on to it. A little pushing and shoving between Baroni and the captain, Andrew Ferentz.
Good block out in front here, and also big Mark Fraser in front as well, just protecting that blue paint in front of his goaltender, Ilya Bryzgalov tonight. We talked about Fraser in the opening, and that's how he plays. Big physical guy, wants to protect the front of his net. And for this line, trying to get to that net, trying to create a chance from the shot from the blue line. And it's Baroni that gets in there aggressively.
Fourth line has a change on it as Jesse Joensuu is back in the lineup. Ryan Jones, he is out. Back is ailing him just a little bit, so he will sit. And this fourth line is Gazdic, Smith, and Joensuu, and they have been effective. And it'll have to be Louis against the big guy wearing number 32. Scott plays it back to the point. Here's Weber's shot. And that is stopped by Bryzgalov at the top of the blue paint.
Yeah, good work down low. And you talked about John Scott. He was born in Edmonton, but grew up in St. Catharines, Ontario. And he's 6'8", 255 pounds. Just kind of leans on the puck in the corner, gets it back. Nice pass by him, and then everybody converges to the front of the net. This is going to be the game plan. Under Ted Nolan, you know the Buffalo Sabres are going to be a hard-working team. They're going to attack the net. They're going to try and get shots through and play that basic, simple game. It works. and a couple good opportunities doing just that in the last couple of shifts for Buffalo after going down 1-0.
They were outshot 39-28 in that game in Colorado. They have lost 6 straight here at First Niagara Center. Yakupov, Perron, and Gagne out there now, and this is Yakupov. He'll play it back to Marincin. Marincin with a wrist shot through traffic. That one gets deflected wide. Weber picks it up, slides it down the ice, and Petrie is there. He'll give it to Yakupov, right back to Marincin. Martin Marincin getting set to go to the Olympics and represent Slovakia. Gagne centering pass for Yakupov. He gave it to Perron, back to the point. Here's Petrie, slap pass for Yakupov, but a good save by Jonas Enroth. Weber plays it around to the near side, and pinching in is Martin Marincin. Marincin from the corner gets a little help from Yakupov as they try and keep it in, but McBain able to get it out to Linus Omark, and Omark gets it down the ice. The Sabres will get a change in. Omark played 66 games with the Oilers and had 30 points. Eberle stopped before he could get through is the second line out there now. This is Cody Hodgson. Hodgson drops it back for Tyler Myers. Myers all the way up to Ott. He'll play over to Talinder, then take a shot that goes wide. Here's Hodgson by sharp angle. That one doesn't get through. He gets the puck back again. Ott's got it. He'll let a slap shot go, and a good reaction save there from Ilya Bryzgalov. Taylor Hall can't get it by Steve Ott. Talinder throws it towards the net. That doesn't make it through, and Eberle gobbles it up. Jordan Eberle takes a hit there from Ott as he sends the puck down the ice. Hodgson brings it right back in. Cody Hodgson lays it all the way across the ice for Christian Ehrhoff. That puck on end. He throws it on to Bryzgalov, and Bryzgalov wants to slow things down, and he'll make the save. As we take a look at the keys of the game, brought to you by the 2014 Ford Super Duty. It's built Ford tough.
Well, Kevin, for the Edmonton Oilers in this game, get to the net, and that's just get that presence in front of Enroth tonight. He struggled to put wins together, has lost his last 12. For them, they have to have that heavy presence all game long. And for the Sabres, they obviously haven't done it, but get out of the gates here quickly, have a strong start. They didn't against Colorado, and they haven't against the Oilers so far, down by 1-0 already in this one here.
And they don't score much at home. 58 goals coming in. That is 29th in the league as that puck gets deflected up into the 6th row of seats.
Yeah, that's dangerous when that puck gets up there quickly. Look at Ted Nolan, who took over the team back in November. And since he's taken over, the team has really started to find their stride, and he's worked on the basics. Always known to be a motivator, Kevin. You know, not necessarily the X's and O's guys that people would think. For him, he just tries to get the most out of each individual guy. And talking with players over the years, haven't met too many that haven't liked playing for Ted Nolan.
Second stint for him, just like Talinder in Buffalo. He was the coach, first of all, in 1995. He won the Jack Adams in 97. And he was hired on November the 13th. So this team was 4-15-1 when he took over. They just had a horrible October, Louis. They were 2-12-1 to start the season.
Yeah, just, for Ron Rolson, just not the start that he would have liked, and obviously gets let go. Nolan comes in. They've been 11-16-7 in that span. So, have turned things around considerably for a team that's in 30th place and preaching the basics and hard work, and his team has definitely done that for him.
Is Gordon, Hemsky, and Hendricks up front now as Terrence gives it to Fraser. Fraser chips it down the ice off the glass for Hendricks. Good job by Hendricks to knock it down, and then he got knocked down by Girgensons. Girgensons is headed to the Olympics for Latvia, and he's taking his coach with him.
Yeah, he is. Trying him out at center a little bit as well.
Flynn right in front for Ehrhoff. He kicked it wide, and a good job by Petrie, preventing him from getting a good opportunity. As Smith outlet pass is stopped by Ehrhoff. He got knocked down as he ran into Hendricks, and Ryan Smith lost his stick. The Sabres bring it right back in. Circling the net. Foligno all the way up top for Scott. He'll move it across to Weber. His shot stopped by Bryzgalov, and he'll cover up the rebound and get the save.
Sports Select's Pools Hall of Fame immortalizes the big winners. It's like managing an exclusive storage locker.
Pick your winners today with Pools.
Well, Kevin, although Edmonton is up 1-0, they've only got 2 shots on net in this game so far. It's been the Buffalo Sabres that have really had the better chances ever since that goal was scored. Ilya Bryzgalov has been up to the task and made some good saves. Heavy presence in front of him already early tonight. He's had to find those pucks through the screen.
Buffalo has 28 shots in that loss against Colorado. The Oilers 22 in Boston. They were outshot as well, 41-22. And we've got a penalty on the way, and it's going to be an interference call. And it comes with 14 minutes and 19 seconds left to go in the first period. And Drew Stafford back in the lineup after missing 4 with injury. Will head to the box.
Drew Stafford grew up watching the Edmonton Oilers and has played very well against them in his career. Obviously, his dad, Gord, is the brother of legendary trainer Barry, who I was fortunate enough to work with for 6 years in Edmonton. And gets a little aggressive there on the pick. And we'll head to the box 2 minutes for interference.
Oilers were 0 for 4 in the power play in the game in Boston. A power play that has been great at home, struggles on the road. They're ranked 28th away from Rexall. Just 11 power play goals when they're away from home. But they go to work here for the first time in the game. Penalty killing for Buffalo, ranked 15th overall. Kalinda can't get it out. Good job by Yakupov to keep it in. Hemsky gives it back to him off the skate. And on the shot, he had his stick lifted at the last second. Ott will give it to Flynn. They'll start the penalty kill. They're going to head off as Hemsky turns at center. Hemsky to Yakupov. Quick pass to Justin Schultz across the blue line, but diving to try and get back was Perron. He didn't make it in time.
And a couple good looks there, too, for Nel Yakupov, who's had a couple chances to get the puck away in the slot in this game so far tonight. And we talked about the call out by the coach, wants a second line to produce more. And they've had a few real good shifts in a row, get the start of this power play here, generate that high-quality chance in the slot. It's Yakupov that just can't get it through, but you like the urgency they're playing with in this game so far.
Hall with the puck down. Hall trying to drop it back. Baroni will pick it up and send it down the ice. That's Marcus Foligno on the penalty kill, along with Girgensons, as Nugent Hopkins starts away. Nugent Hopkins across the blue line. Hall picks it up. He'll play it back to the point. Schultz, the only blue liner. They'll give it to Nugent Hopkins. Little pass over to Hall. He's got Everly on the near side. Throws it towards the net, then goes right back after it. Nugent Hopkins races over on the far side. He is in a battle there with 2 Sabres, Sulzer and Girgensons. Everly brings it in, but it's offside. It's power play for the Oilers, having a little trouble getting the engine started.
Yeah, some good defending. You know, you saw Christian Ehrhoff there be really aggressive on Taylor Hall. I think out of frustration, he's going to head to the box here. But it was a good defensive play down low by Ehrhoff just to not allow Taylor Hall to take the puck to the net. Gets the stick on the stick aggressively. I'm not sure what the infraction was on Hall coming back. But it's going to nullify the power play, obviously. It'll be 4-on-4 after 46 seconds.
Now we'll play 4-on-4, and then the Buffalo Sabres will get their first power play of the hockey game.
Sorry, power play after 46 seconds.
Yep.
It'll be 4-on-4 for 46 seconds, but we'll have a long discussion going to the box with the referees. Wasn't too happy.
Sam Gagner up there to take the draw. The puck comes back to the point. River will give it to Jamie McBain. His shot through traffic. And it was Matt Ellis who was in the middle providing that screen. D'Agostini and Ellis are up front. D'Agostini will stay out there as Weber gives it to D'Agostini. Unsportsmanlike conduct for Taylor Hall. As you mentioned, Louis, a little bit of frustration. Wrong thing said at the wrong time. You've never done that, have you? No.
I meant every word.
Gagner flips it in. There is Jeff Petrie reaching for it. He'll send it around the boards. Perron waiting for it there. David Perron. Nice move against McBain. Perron, drop pass for Gagner. Now he'll go to the net. Gagner moves to the middle. Lets the shot go. That one did not count. I thought that one had a chance.
That looked funny. I thought that one in the net too.
It stays a 1-0 game. Right in the middle. Hodgson couldn't get the shot away. Good play by Smith to prevent that as it comes back. Here's an opportunity and a shot by Myers. Now what a great save. No. Jeff Petrie tried to bring it back. The referee signaling that it went across the line. But we will have to take a look at that.
I don't think it went over. So we thought one was going in the other end. This one here didn't look like it crossed the line to me, Kevin. I don't know. I kind of saw it stop at the last second. We'll have to take a good look here. So a chain of events. He gets a big piece of the first one, little jab by Ott that goes through him somehow and trickles towards the line. And I believe it was Ferentz that eventually just pulls this back. Sorry, it's Petrie right there. Now, did that cross the line all the way? That's the question. And we're going to have to hopefully take a good look at this, and they are going to take a look upstairs as well.
We'll have to take a look at the overhead shot to try and see if Jeff Petrie, who has scored one already, prevented the Sabres from getting their first. The referee, the signal on the ice was goal.
Yep, and you know, the good thing about this is there were no bodies sprawled around the goal line, so they should have a real good look at this to see if this goes all the way over the line. And you know what? I just saw it on the big screen, Kevin. This one's a goal. It did go over, so a good job by Steve Ott to get to that spot. This will be a short review and a 1-1 game as Steve Ott has tied this up.
After further review, the name of the puck did completely cross the goal line.
It did cross the line.
It is a good goal.
And here is the video evidence that the folks back in Toronto used to make their determination.
And you can see it trickle here. You watch it go over, definitely on edge. And that's what makes it difficult sometimes when the puck is on edge. But if you look there, there's white behind that puck. Good pick up there. And live, it looked like it didn't, but it certainly did.
Ott has got his 9th goal of the season, and we are tied here in Buffalo. We'll be right back after this.
Time to play Safeway's $1 million score and win. If any Oilers player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, Mary Cross of Edmonton could win $1 million. Shop it, swipe at Safeway, and you could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet.
Power play goal for Steve Ott, his 9th of the year. Myers and Hodson get the assists at 8:04 of the first period, and we're all tied up at 1. Buffalo with 7 shots, the Oilers with 4. Omar trying to go between the legs, a nifty little move as he centers it out in front. Hemsky is there. Coming here, round behind the net for Ennis. It gets by him. Omar picks it up on the near side. Omar against Fraser. Fraser trying to muscle him across that blue line. And Omar shoots it in, and Ferentz will pick it up.
You can see the size difference there. Mark Fraser really manhandling Linus Omark, but he still holds on to the puck. Always was a great player in the sense that he could protect the puck well for a little guy, had that great coordination and terrific hands, obviously, for Linus Omark. And you know, he's one of those guys who just kind of hope finds his game in the National Hockey League. He didn't in Edmonton, had a tough go of things, but you kind of root for him because of what he brings to the table. He's so exciting to watch. And he can do so many things. And talking with Tyler Ennis this morning and Drew Stafford, hoping that he can kind of find some chemistry with them on that top line and spark some offense.
Linus Omark at his 13th game. He got traded on December the 19th from the Oilers for a 6th-round draft pick, still trying to get his first goal of the year. He has not been in the lineup, a healthy scratch the last 3 games. Closing in on the halfway point of this first period. Ellis with Foligno. Foligno behind the net. Marcus Foligno in the corner, being watched there by Justin Schultz. Lays it back to the point. Sulzer, he'll go cross ice. Scott, his shot doesn't make it through as it gets deflected to the near side. Gazdic pushes it behind the net. Justin Schultz will pick it up there. He'll give it right back to Gazdic off his skate and kept in by Alex Sulzer. At least he thought it did, but it's offside.
If you drive on snow and ice, you don't want all-season tires. You want all-weather tires. Get Nokian's most advanced all-weather tire, the WRG3 at Cal Tire.
Jordan Eberle closing in on 20 goals. He's got 19 on the season, 45 points, but he's got 8 points in his last 8 games. Hodson. Agostini will give it to Hodson, get it right back again. Agostini played it to the middle, up high for Hott. He couldn't keep it in at the blue line. And McBain back into his own zone, pass for the captain, intercepted. Here comes Gagne. Sam Gagne moving in, could not get the shot away. And it's picked up by Hodson. Quick outlet pass for Ott. Here's the captain. Ott moving in, snaps a shot, and he rang it off the crossbar. Steve Ott comes close to his 2nd goal of the game, but that puck finds iron.
And takes a big run at Neil Yakupov. Steve Ott has always been an energy guy. You know he's going to be a pest out there, but he can play the game. He's shown it already here with his 9th goal of the year. Almost gets his 10th there as he puts it off the crossbar.
174 hits plus. With Agostini and Hodson. Fraser trying to keep it in at the blue line. Can't do it. And Cody Hodson, end of the shift, will just backhand it in. 9 shots for the Sabres. The Oilers stuck on 4 right now. Jesse Yoansu flips it in. Myers going after it. Big Tyler Myers, 6'8", 219 pounds, the former Calder Trophy winner. He won that in 2010.
Yeah, the other 6'8" guy on the Buffalo Bay, him and John Scott, both the Twin Towers.
Well, the Oilers have seen bigger on this road trip.
Yeah, the other guy in Boston, that's for sure. Zdeno Chara, 6'9".
Yoansu throws it towards the net. Enroth makes the save as Myers gives Gazdic a shot. The net comes off the moorings. Steve Ott has scored one. He comes awful close right here.
Now it's time to live the game with the new windows, and we go to the newest Sportsnet magazine. It is an Olympic preview edition. The Olympics opening ceremonies will happen on Friday as the Edmonton Oilers wrap up their Olympic break when they take on the New Jersey Devils. A reminder, live the game with the new windows. One device for everything in your life.
And the New Jersey Devils will be well rested. They play tonight. They will not play again until they play the Oilers on Friday. Schultz with a shot right on. Gordon looking for the rebound. It comes all the way out to center. Matt Henricks chips it in against Alex Selzer. Gordon going after it. Around the boards it comes. Omar sees it go by him. Justin Schultz pinching in. Plays it behind the net for Gordon. And it's picked up now by Christian Ehrhoff. He'll come to the near side for Drew Stafford. Stafford moving in one-on-one against Nick Schultz. Ennis. Buttonhook throws it towards the net. That was stopped by Schultz. But it's kept in. Ehrhoff with a shot, and that one gets deflected by Drew Stafford, and he tipped it wide. Omar in the corner. Omar battles it back to the point. Sulzer is there. Omar knocked down by Gordon. And the Oilers' third line works it across the blue line. Henricks right through the middle for Eberle. Eberle swings at it and gets the puck to Nugent Hopkins. Then gets it back again. And there's some pressure there from D'Agostini as that shot goes wide from Taylor Hall. Hall, Marincin. Eberle. Nugent Hopkins back to Eberle. Here's Eberle right down the middle. Dishes off the Hall. Taylor Hall comes cross ice. Intended for Marincin. It was tipped away by Steve Ott. But look at Eberle. Lying across the blue line. Eberle drop pass for Hall. Hall has D'Agostini right in his face as Hodgson gets it out to center.
Much better shift to the top line of Edmonton. They're moving their feet. It was Eberle right from the get-go that attacks with speed. Nugent Hopkins supports, and then Hall comes in late. And they have that puck in the offensive zone for a good 30 seconds.
Yakupov almost intercepted that pass intended for McBain from Weber. Aroni gets it out to center, took a hit from Yakupov. Yakupov brings it right back in with Barron and Gagne. 6.5 minutes to go in the first period. Jurgensen keeps that puck in. 10 shots for the Sabres, 6 for the Oilers. Myers tripped up there by Yakupov. Play continues. Gagne, outlet pass, kept in by Talinder. Talinder against Hemsky. Back to the point it comes. Jurgensen filling in at the point. Now he'll move down low as Talinder lets that shot go. That one was blocked. The Oilers the best in the league at blocking shots on the road. They came in with 500 blocked shots.
We've seen it a few times. The forwards of the Buffalo Sabres slipping out to that high slot area, especially the third guy high. He's an option in the middle of the ice at all times. They're looking to get that shot through with traffic. And that one there just deflects a little bit wide. And when you have that many bodies in front, always dangerous to get a shot through to the net.
Bouncing puck to Enroth, and he'll cover it up with Boyd Gordon right on him. Rogers Oilers hockey from the First Niagara Center right here in Buffalo.
Well, Kevin, there was some good work a little bit a while ago, and we talked about getting bodies to the net, getting shots to the net. Matt Henricks down low does some nice work to get the puck loose. Little carom off the boards right to Nick Schultz, who one-times the puck, and that's the key here. He does not stop this puck. He gets to the net. Good presence in front. Boyd Gordon gets a little piece of it, jams away afterwards, and it creates a high-quality chance for the Edmonton Oilers. Not enough of this. A lot of times they're passing up on that shot opportunity to get it to the net. They need a little bit more of that.
Oilers have been outshot 33 times this season. They have won 9 of those games. They've been outshot. Right now, the shot clock reads 10-7 in favor of Buffalo in a 1-1 game. Out on the power play. And Jeff Petrie just 32 seconds into the contest. The top line on the ice again. Wraparound attempt there by Ennis. Denied by Bryzgalov. Eberle under pressure. Back to the point and shattering the stick. It's Sulzer. He's without a stick now. Eberle trying to take advantage of it. Cross-ice pass for Hall. Off the end of a stick, he had Omar watching him. It comes to Eberle. Again, Sulzer without a stick. And now Omar's without his stick. Ennis gives Sulzer his stick, and we have got a penalty.
And just good job here by Taylor Hall to stay with this puck. And that puck is really bouncing out there. And for Jordan Eberle, attacks the player without a stick, allows him to get pretty close to him. And then finds Taylor Hall with the stretch. Here's another just shot into the blue paint. And watch the work here by Taylor Hall. Keeps his feet moving. Digs down to get the puck. And that little poke check there by Tillinder. Sorry, that's Ehrhoff that took him down. And he'll head to the box for 2 for tripping. But just a good stay with it here by Taylor Hall to stay in the battle. Dig for the puck loose. Not to take a tripping penalty himself. And then he draws the penalty. And the Oilers will go back on the power play.
They got one shot on the man advantage so far. And this comes with 4:35 left to go in the first period. The Oilers with 1 power play goal in their last 3 games. They are 1 for 9. Louis, you and I have talked about, I know you don't want to put too much emphasis on the power play, but it can be a weapon in a game to give you a real advantage. The Oilers could use it right now.
I don't want to put a lot of emphasis on it.
All right.
I think it can be a weapon. And you know what?
Louis, you like to put a lot of emphasis on the power play.
I thought that's what you said. But you look at that last game, it was 1-0 to the third period against the Boston Bruins. They had 3 opportunities on the power play to tie that game, to go ahead in that game. They didn't generate the chances they were looking for, and they just didn't execute. And as a result, they ended up losing at 3 goals in the third period. So it can be a weapon, but at crucial times, it's imperative you have to have your power play going.
What the Oilers can do here is Schultz lets it go through traffic. It gets deflected into the corner. Hemsky with Perron, Gagne, and Yakupov. Gagne trying to keep it in. Another stick flying through the air, this time in Ales Hemsky. Gagne with it now. Gagne, nice little pass to Schultz. He took a hit from Ott, but got it back to Hemsky at the point. Now he'll retreat to the blue line as Hemsky works the half wall. Down low for Gagne. He's got Perron battling in front with Tallinder. Schultz cross ice. There's Yakupov just absolutely hammering that shot and ends up going up into the netting.
Well, I like the fact, sorry Kevin, I like the fact they were looking for the shot. Yakupov just gets a little too much there and takes the 9-iron out instead of the 3-iron.
Sometimes you and I like to joke about that shot. It kind of reminds you of a guy that wears number 8 in Washington, so we call Yakupov Little Ovi.
Yeah, Little Ovi, and you know what? This is something you like to see from Nail Yakupov. You want to see him shooting the puck because he does possess a great shot, and he can really tee it up, and he wants to shoot it. So the power play based around that, little moving it around. Hemsky goes back to Schultz at the blue line, little slip down to the half wall, and for Yakupov, thinking shot. You like to see it.
About a goal in his last 3 games. 48 seconds left to go in the penalty to Christian Ehrhoff. And the top line gets back on the ice. Justin Schultz with it now. Schultz over to Hall. Down low is Ryan Smith. Here comes a wrist shot that hits Smith. He tries to sweep it in. A couple of cracks at it. And the puck comes out. And it's skated out by Girgensons. Short-handed with Foligno. Girgensons moving in. Foligno! Great effort, but a good save by Bryzgalov. Hall back the other way. Taylor Hall 3-on-2. This is Eberle. Could not get that puck to settle down. And then Foligno chops it down the ice. Down to 10 seconds of power play time for the Oilers. Chance for one last rush, and it's Petrie who's going to lead it. Jeff Petrie hammers the puck in. Eberle going after it against Matt Ellis. Matt Ellis is there. And Ellis, outlet pass for D'Agostini. D'Agostini will give it to Myers. Myers moving in. Here is Myers. Cross-ice pass. He flipped it over. Petrie was looking for Matt Ellis. The Oilers now 0 for 2. They generated a couple of shots on that power play. But they have not been able to get it by Enroth with the man advantage. Back to the point. There's a shot by Marincin, steered aside by Jonas Enroth. Sharp angle shot. Ends up on the near side. Hemsky on the steal. A bouncing puck. Gordon gets tripped up there by Ott, and a penalty is on the way with less than 2 minutes to go. 6 attackers out there for the Oilers. Look at Hemsky. Get it to Marincin. And finally, that puck is touched. And Boyd Gordon is just getting up now. And Steve Ott is headed to the penalty box. And the Oilers right back on the power play.
Well, just real good work here by Ales Hemsky, keeping his feet moving, attacking the net. And that's what you like to see from the Oilers, just going into the blue paint. As a result, it's Gordon that gets the opportunity in the slot. And for Ott, he just came back aggressively, took the legs out from underneath Gordon. And so he's going to go to the box 2 minutes for tripping. So for Hemsky attacking that, he bobbled the puck, but it goes to a guy that's in front and has an opportunity and draws another power play for Edmonton.
Hemsky played 15 minutes and 5 seconds in that game in Boston. That's after missing 7 with an ankle problem. And he will start this power play with Gagne and Perron, Yakupov and Schultz. The Oilers have drawn 3 power play penalties in this first period. Ott is in the penalty box for tripping. Justin Schultz starts away for Edmonton. Schultz flips it in. Yakupov will give chase against big Tyler Myers. Myers behind the net sends it around the boards. Good play by Perron to keep it in. Now it's Gagne on the near side. Sam Gagne gets it to Hemsky. Hemsky's surrounded by blue and gold. And it's picked up there by Brian Flynn. Flynn moving in shorthanded. Flynn in the corner. He is checked by Schultz. Yakupov finds Eberle. Jordan Eberle across the blue line. Eberle with 6 power play goals on the season. Now an opportunity shorthanded for the Buffalo Sabres with less than a minute to go. This is Drew Stafford. Stafford, wrist shot, scores! The Oilers have now given up 10 shorthanded goals as Stafford, after missing 4 games with an injury, comes back and gets his 8th goal of the year.
Well, you know what? We talked about Drew Stafford and how he loves to play against the Oilers, and you just talked about 6 goals now in 5 games. He sings us one. The last 3, and I said 3 or 4 2-on-1s for the Buffalo Sabres. They've tried to pass it. It hasn't worked. Drew Stafford gets back in the lineup, and he's a shooter, Kevin. And boy, does he ever zing this one home. Just not a great read here by Edmonton to try and make this pass. It results in another 2-on-1 shorthanded, and Drew Stafford makes no mistake up over top of the glove of Brizgalov.
The Buffalo Sabres now have 5 shorthanded goals. Ott remains in the penalty box for the next 49 seconds. There's 39.1 seconds on the clock, but that has become a major league problem for the Edmonton Oilers. These shorthanded goals, they're into double digits.
Yeah, 10 shorthanded goals against now for the Oilers. And you know, what does that tell you? Just trying to get a little too cute on the power play with the little passes and not getting the puck to the net. And as a result, an attacking team, and give Buffalo a lot of credit. They have attacked in this game, and it results in another shorthanded goal against.
1904, the time of the shorthanded goal for the Sabres. They have got a power play goal and a shorthanded goal. Nugent Hopkins trying to get it to the middle for Ryan Smith, who was picked off there by Kalinder. Jurgensen and Weber get the assist on the shorty by Stafford. As we've got 10 seconds left to go in this first period. Nugent Hopkins up top for Eberle. Eberle. Podrag, a shot right at the horn, and that one gets deflected wide. Darren Millard, the Oilers will have a 10-second power play when the second period starts, but they've got to work on not giving up shorthanded goals.
The scoring summary brought to you by Worley Parsons Cord. Visit worleyparsons.com/careers to find your place on our team. And it was a period of special teams on the part of the Buffalo Sabres, who were down early in this game but scored late. And as a result, it is the Sabres that lead the Oilers by 1 after 1 period of play. Well, back in 2008, Philip Larson may know that Steven Stamkos was the first overall pick on the part of the Tampa Bay Lightning, but late in the first round, the Edmonton Oilers at pick number 22 got Jordan Eberle. 4 picks after that, the Buffalo Sabres were able to get Tyler Ennis, an Edmonton kid who tonight is playing his second ever game against his hometown team. And considering he's from Edmonton, no surprise that his favorite Oiler growing up was, well, a lot of people thought this was their favorite Oiler, and that was Doug Weight. Other players around the league that he looked up to were the likes of Paul Kariya when he played with Anaheim, and the Russian Rocket, Pavel Bure. And it wasn't that long ago, the 24-year-old remembers being a young player wishing one day to be in the NHL and drawing pictures of NHL players. And here's a picture that he has hanging in his stall, given to him by a fan over a month ago. And it is something, Louis and Kevin, that reminds him it wasn't that long ago that he used to be watching NHL players, and now he's one of them.
And Tyler Ennis, Gene, an assist against Colorado. 27 points, a 3-game point streak. And this is all from a guy that is 5'9", 169 pounds.
You know, I like the fact that this morning he evaluated his own game too, and he said he didn't like the way he started the year, but he likes the way he's playing right now and is playing with a lot of jump, and we saw that in the first 20 minutes.
Steve Ott remains in the penalty box for a penalty took at the end of the first period, but it's just seconds away from coming to an end. Shorthanded goal by Drew Stafford on the penalty, being served by Ott. He's out of the box now, and the Oilers are 0 for 3. Did not generate a shot on that last power play. Eberle with the puck now. Quick shot there by Nugent Hopkins from an angle, and that one gets deflected up into the netting, and it stops playing.
Well, you talked about it. We talked about the power play in the first period. 10 power play goals against, shorthanded goals against for Edmonton this year, and their power play sometimes wants to pass it into the net. And right out of the gates here, it's Nugent Hopkins that comes down the ice, doesn't get the first shot through, but follows it through. It creates that chaos we talk about so often. And Eberle, just a little dish out to Nugent Hopkins in the slot again, gets deflected wide. So a much better start to the power play in this second period.
Now, what do the Oilers have to do in this second period, Louis? I know I ask you those questions. I know it's tough. Never mind. That's not fair. That's just not fair.
Score?
Yeah. That's like a pop quiz in school, right?
Yeah.
What?
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
You know what? I'll tell you, the one thing they didn't do a whole lot of in the first period, and you got to credit Buffalo. They came out and they put pucks in deep. They were establishing the cycle. They had that presence in front. Edmonton has to take a page from that. And we've talked about it pretty much all year long. Get the puck in deep. Get the puck in behind the defense. Don't allow them to play that transitional game. Push them back all game long, and it wears you down throughout 60 minutes. And, you know, for Edmonton having the skills they have, if they could just take on that mindset to play a little bit more of a grittier, grindier game, it would benefit them in the long run, I think. And that's what they have to get back to here, is getting the pucks in deep and don't turn it over to the Buffalo Sabres.
Omar shot, and a blocker save there by Brizgalov. Ennis carries on. Tyler Ennis behind the net. He'll play it back to the point. Waiting for it there is Myers. Tyler Myers with a nice move. Big man puts it to Ennis. His backhand is stopped by Brizgalov, and the rebound is picked up by Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith will lead the rush. He gets stopped at the blue line. Now Ryan Smith on that line instead of Taylor Hall. As the puck comes right out in front, and a good play just to steer that away. So Smith with Nugent Hopkins and Eberle. Ennis. Nick Schultz watching him as he gives it to Linus Omar. Omar. Button hook back to the point. Myers. Down low it comes. Up the side of the net by Omar. Kept in at the point by Tyler Myers. He and Talinder are on the point, and Ennis on the intercept. The Oilers need to get this puck out. Here's Ennis waiting, and he fired it right through and missed on the far side. Another shot by Ennis, and that one is high and wide, and eventually goes out of play, and that is good news for the Oilers because they can get a change in.
Well, great shift by two Tylers as Taylor Hall goes down the tunnel for an unknown reason here. I don't know if it's an equipment problem for him, so Ryan Smith getting a chance on that line. And Tyler Ennis, who we were just talking about, ears must have been buzzing. What a terrific shift by him. And for Myers, he has a couple real good looks himself as Hall comes back to the bench. And we'll keep an eye on that to see what is the problem with him. It does look to be a skate for him as he's walking down and having a little look.
Boyd Gordon was 5-1 in the face-off circle. And the first period, he wins that draw. Pass from Fraser. Didn't make the target, but Gordon able to keep it in. Now on the far side. Another penalty coming up. This time to the Oilers. 2 minutes, 23 seconds into this second period. And the Buffalo Sabres, who are 1 for 1.
It's going to be contact with the goaltender, I believe, here by Matt Hendricks. He just kind of buzzes the tower here. Just that little clip right there. I didn't think he made too a nice little sell there by Enrath. Or you know what? He might have just caught him right on that precipice to falling over and just been the final straw on the camel's back, so to speak. But he barely touched him. I mean, he's wondering himself why he's sitting in there, and he hopes he sits for 2. But kind of buzz in there pretty quickly. A little Top Gun.
Hot. Now the power play goal in the first period. Now the Sabres go to work for the second time with the man advantage. Agostini unable to keep it in at the blue line. Good job there by Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins and Smith start the penalty kill. Now they're going to head off. It is Marincin and Petrie on the blue line, joined by Boyd Gordon and David Perron. Marincin has a lane, and he will pick that puck down the ice. The Sabres were 1 for 5 in that game on Saturday in Colorado. A power play that has more goals at home than it does on the road. They've got 25 total. They got 15, 16 now here at First Niagara Center. Myers retreating back into his own zone. Gordon watching him. Now Tyler Myers will give it to Ott. Ott inside the blue line. He'll go cross ice as the Sabres are making a change. Omar gives it to Ott. And another penalty coming up, and this one is going to be another interference call. So there goes the power play for the Buffalo Sabres as Tyler Myers is headed to the box.
Big man going down low, and we saw this was Zdeno Chara in the Boston game, just kind of converging down into the slot area. And for Myers, I think he was just trying to get out of the way here. Nick Schultz lifts the leg, but kind of leans into him with the shoulder. When you're 6'8", a little bump looks like a pretty big one. He's looking up, watching it himself. And this is an area right now that Ted Nolan wants to see a little more from Tyler Myers, is that physical play, being aggressive. He's 6'8", use that size down low in the defensive zone, and gets a little too aggressive in the offensive zone.
So it's going to be 4-on-4 for the next 23 seconds, and that's when Hendricks steps out of the box, and the Oilers will get their 4th power play of this hockey game. Puck wasn't dropped fairly between Ott and Gagner, so we'll do it again. Gagner with Petrie, Eberle, and Marincin. From the face-off, Gagner wins that again. Marincin keeps it in at the point, gets it to Eberle. Eberle to Gagner. Gagner trying to get away from McBain. Gagner then gets double-teamed as Ott comes in there, and Jamie McBain starts away across the blue line. He'll end it in the corner. Ellis throws a hit against Petrie. Ott going in there as well, but Marincin picks it up on the far side. Martin Marincin comes to the near side for Eberle. Eberle drop pass for Gagner. Gagner, wrist shot, handled by Enroth. Big rebound. And it's picked up there by Girgensons.
You know, we've seen this a few times too, Kevin. As you mentioned, more shots need to get to the net for Edmonton. And for a couple of reasons. You're up against the goaltender that hasn't won in 12 starts. And he's bobbling the puck a little bit, Enroth is. He's letting those rebounds drop out in front of him. He's not really finding the puck that well. So don't let him get in that groove and get dialed in. Get shots to him.
Power play for the Oilers right now for 1 minute and 2 seconds. Right in front for Ryan Smith, but it's cleared around the boards by Ehrhoff, but unable to keep it in was Justin Schultz against Brian Flynn. Hall. Equipment problem, we assumed, has all been corrected. He's out there for this power play. Schultz drops it for Nugent Hopkins to Perron. David Perron works his way in. Here's Perron, centering pass, put it on net, and Roth the save. On the near side, Hall plays it back to the point. Nobody home. It comes all the way back to Brizgalov. Now the Oilers change their power play unit with 22 seconds left to go in the man advantage. This is Ales Hemsky. Hemsky against Ehrhoff. Around the boards, Marincin was down low. Now he's going to have to race to get that puck back again. And 10 seconds left to go in the penalty to Tyler Myers. Winding up is Hendricks. Hendricks across the line. Here's Hendricks with a shot. Enroth the save, and once again, as Louis pointed out, Enroth has been battling that puck, and he left the rebound right there.
Well, he is, but a good job by him to stay in the battle there. And again, it's Hendricks just kind of comes out and drives the puck wide and just gets it to the net. And I like this shot. Get more pucks to the net. And for Enroth, he's kind of reacting a little bit aggressively to the shots. And this one, again, just a little bobble, but he stays with it. 3 Buffalo Sabres, a defenseman, and 1 forward back in front of him to protect them. But for Edmonton, they have to start to recognize that. And it wasn't that difficult of a shot for Enroth, but he just doesn't seem to be in the groove and continue to do that. Continue to get shots into it.
He is 0-4-4 at home so far this season. Fraser throws it behind the net. Yakupov takes a hit from Ott. Gets the puck back again. It's in his skates. Now it comes loose for Perron, and he whistled that one wide. Tyler Myers will backhand it off the glass, get it up to center. Ferentz shoots it right back in. The Oilers with 5 shots in this period to Buffalo's 3. They're outshooting the Sabres at this point 17-16. Daminder. Around the boards it goes. Cody Hodson takes a hit from Fraser as he sends it down low for D'Agostini. Fraser will pick it up here and give it to Gagner. Sam Gagner flips it in, chasing after it. Joensuu, and a good play by Enroth to clear it away. Joensuu is right on it. Cody Hodson. He'll shoot that puck in as the Sabres want to make a change. The Sabres will entertain Pittsburgh on Wednesday and then go to Ottawa for a game on Thursday, and that's it for them before the Olympic break. The Oilers, of course, back-to-back set in New York and New Jersey Thursday and Friday, and we'll have those games for you on Sportsnet. Gazdic, he gets knocked down there by Jamie McBain. Gets back up, gives it to Joensuu, the 4th line. Keeping the puck in the offensive zone. Joensuu's pass intercepted by Ennis. Tyler Ennis. He'll go cross ice. Here is Stafford cutting from that. Right out in front. And that one off a skate and up over the net. Schultz to an open wing. And it's picked up there by Sulzer. Quick pass to Omar. Right back for Ennis. Ennis moves to the middle. Lets a long shot go. And Brizgalov hangs on to it. Rogers, Oilers hockey, here on the net.
This period brought to you by McCain's new 4-meat Rising Crust Pizza. McCain, it's all good.
Sponsored by Cenovus. For every Oilers goal this season, Cenovus will donate $400 to Valor Place Military Family Support House. To date, the Oilers have scored 148 goals for a total of $59,200.
And 1 goal here tonight scored by Jeff Petrie 32 seconds into the game. Perron and Yakupov getting the assist. And then Buffalo using special teams. A power play goal and a short-handed goal. Shots even in this second period at 5 apiece. Checking line for the Oilers out there against the top line for the Buffalo Sabres. Ehrhoff shot, and Brizgalov makes the save, and he'll hang on to it.
A couple good face-off wins here by Buffalo, Kevin, and getting pucks to the net. I talked about Tyler Ennis a lot in this game so far. Nice little nifty move, the first one. Gets it over to Stafford, and that one there just a shot by Ehrhoff through the traffic. 2 good saves by Brizgalov on this shift.
Omar behind the net. Omar spinning to get away from Jeff Petrie. Omar still has it. Ennis got knocked down, and a penalty coming up. And it will be a tripping call, and the Oilers penalty killers will go to work with 12:09 left to go in the second period.
One of the things about Linus Ullmark, and I felt when he was an Edmonton Oiler, he did not get enough penalties called for him against the other team. He's so terrific at protecting the puck, and he draws one here. And I just think that was something that, maybe being a young guy in the league, the way he kind of keeps the puck in his feet a lot. But for Ullmark, he just kind of drives away. Maybe it was on Ennis there with a little jab into the back of the skate on him there, so it might have hit the drawn it. But for me, I just thought Ullmark, the way he was getting manhandled a lot of the times with the puck, he should have drawn more penalties, but he's going to get an opportunity here with the man advantage.
Ales Hemsky will sit in the box for tripping, and the Buffalo Sabres get their third power play. Stafford couldn't keep it in. Hendricks watching him. He and Gordon up front on this penalty kill. Ference and Nick Schultz. Hendricks comes in and runs into Ott, takes the puck and sends it down the ice. Those two are going to head off. Ryan Smith is out there now, along with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Ference and Nick Schultz stay. As Foligno chips it in, he'll chase it himself. Ference gets there first. Checked by Foligno. Ullmark works it back to the point. Ullmark's got it now as Drew Stafford fed him behind the net, but Nick Schultz was there. Ference finishes it off, and he sends it down the ice. Hemsky in the penalty box. Enroth with a pass to Ott. Steve Ott just inside the blue line. Dishes to Hodgson, trying to feed it out in front of a good play there by Brizgalov. He got the stick out and deflected it away. Ehrhoff retreats back into his own zone. Hendricks watching him. Ehrhoff goes right up the middle, pass for D'Agostini, didn't work, and it is sent back in by Marincin. Marincin and Petrie on the blue line as Ennis crosses it. Separated him from the puck, did Petrie.
Good job by Petrie to stay with the body there. Tyler Ennis tried to sneak through there, getting down low, and for Petrie just kind of gets his body in front of him.
Oilers making quick changes on the penalty kill. As Perron battles to get that puck out along with Nugent-Hopkins. It does come free, but it's kept in by Tyler Myers. Myers at the blue line. He'll go down low for Matt D'Agostini. He'll give it to Ennis. Get it right back again. He's got Hodgson out in front. Ennis with the puck now on the half wall. Being watched by Ference. And chipped out all the way down the ice with just 4 seconds left to go in the penalty to Ales Hemsky. So the Oilers a much better penalty kill there.
Buffalo Sabres kind of helped them out a little bit there. Puck on the perimeter, just not really trying to take it to the net. No shots to the net as well. So for Edmonton, they're able to just kind of stay in their formation, aggressively pursue when they can, and it works.
Less than 10 minutes to go in this second period. Weber's shot gets deflected. Justin Schultz will pick it up, lay it off the boards. Weber steps up, keeps it in, and gets the puck to Baroni. His shots, and that one may have caught some of the posts. Baroni, the rookie, got his first NHL goal January 28th in a game against Washington. Has it now against Eberle. Here's a drop pass and a shot right out in front. Flynn let it go. Weber with it now. He'll play it behind the net. Flynn's going out in front. It comes back to Girgensons at the point. Girgensson. Slap pass intended for Flynn, didn't work, but Flynn works that puck back to Weber. He'll throw it towards the net, blocked by Ference. Taylor Hall with now takes a hit from Girgensons as the Sabres make a change. And Myers kicks back into his own zone. Myers, pretty quick for a big man, across the line. Here's Myers moving in, snaps the shot, sharp angle. Rebound for Ellis. Scott looking for that loose puck as well.
Good drive, and you talked about Myers, the way he can skate for a guy 6'8". Terrific wheels for a big man.
And Myers shaken up on that drive to the net. He'll head to the bench, and we'll head to a break.
Welcome back. Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's hockey game is Post Cereal Shreddies.
And Ilya Brizgalov, Kevin, has had some good luck against the Buffalo Sabres in the past. 5-1-0 in 6 games against them. The one game that he did lose, he faced 40 shots in that one as a member of the Phoenix Coyotes and the Philadelphia Flyers. So first time up against Buffalo as a member of the Edmonton Oilers, looking for the same fate, but down by a goal here in this one in the second period.
He made 25 saves in his last start. That was a week ago in Vancouver. Got his 4th win of the year. Right now, 8:40 to go in the second period. 10-6, the shots in favor of Buffalo.
A lot of
and
penalties.
A hooking call coming up.
I'm just going to go with Jordan Eberle. Not too happy. Has a little conversation with the linesman going to the box, shaking his head. And just another good shift by the Sabres, though. They get a puck in the defensive zone. They battle hard. They surround, and for Eberle just kind of wraps around a little too much on Ehrhoff. So Eberle goes to the box.
Fourth power play for the Sabres. They struck in the first period. Total of 3 shots with the man advantage. Myers flying, fires a blast. Pad save by Bryzgalov. Nick Schultz sends that puck down the ice.
Good save by Bryzgalov. That was a bomb by Myers as he teased that one up, and a good retrieval by Schultz, who zips it down the ice.
He is number 1 among Buffalo defensemen in goals with those 6. And he has the puck right now. Across the blue line, one-on-one against Ference. Chips it down for Cody Hodgson. He'll send it around the boards for Matt D'Agostini. D'Agostini gives it back. Out in front for Ennis. And a battle ensues. Nugent Hopkins stayed in that battle with D'Agostini. Ehrhoff and Myers are on the point. Nick Schultz watching Cody Hodgson as it comes back to Myers. Myers drops for Ehrhoff. Steps into a shot off the glove of Bryzgalov. And right to Myers. Myers to Ehrhoff. He wasn't ready. That'll be a great chance for the Oilers to get it down the ice. Nugent Hopkins will do that. He and Smith are going to head off. 48 seconds left to go with the penalty to Jordan Eberle. Omar wraps it around the boards, waiting for it on the near side. Chipped out instead by Boyd Gordon. He and Matt Hendricks are up front. He's in Marincin and Petrie on the blue line as Foligno dumps that puck in. Omar going after it. Linus Omar in the corner. Foligno sweeps it around for Ott. Ott will give it right back to Foligno. Foligno to Omar on the far side. Linus Omar back to the point, and unable to handle it there was McBain. Drew Stafford stopped up by Hendricks. Hendricks without his stick. Penalty almost over, but here come the Sabres with a shot. And that was taken by Linus Omar. Eberle's now out of the penalty box and has the puck. He's got Gagne with him. Eberle moving in. Eberle to Petrie off his skate. Out in front it comes, and a poke check by Enroth. As Perron had parked himself right out in front. Now he takes a shot that slides just wide. Perron and Eberle working together to try and tie this hockey game. Flipped down the ice by Omar. Racing after it is Flynn, and Flynn almost got there. But it's covered up by Bryzgalov.
He did almost get there too, and a good job by Schultz to get there, protect a little bit of. As this puck goes into Bryzgalov, Flynn just takes a swing at it. I don't think Bryzgalov saw him coming, but chances at both ends. One on the power play by the Sabres, and then a play right after Eberle gets out of the box the other way. This one here could have been scary as Flynn just gets going with his feet and is able to almost get to that puck.
Maroney kicked out of the penalty, out of the circle. Jurgensen's will line up against Sam Gagne. And from the faceoff, a scramble. Flynn chops at it. He put it off Hall and Eberle move across the blue line with Gagne. Sam Gagne centering pass, and it's picked off there by Baroni. Phil Baroni and Flynn along with Jurgensen. There's a long shot by Baroni, handled by Bryzgalov, and we'll get a whistle. Rogers Oilers Hockey on Sportsnet.
This period brought to you by McCain's new 4-meat Rising Crust Pizza. McCain, it's all good.
Taylor Hall, a career year in terms of assists and points, Louis, and he's looking for one more for a milestone.
Closing in real quickly on 200 points in his National Hockey League career, so sitting at 199. He's had a couple opportunities tonight.
Ales Hamsky, Matt Hendricks, along with Boyd Gordon. Enroth covers it up.
That's a good save by Enroth. You know, we talked about him maybe bobbling the puck a little bit, but as we talked about also, you know, allowing him to kind of settle in. And this is a guy looking for his first win in 13 games, 13 starts. So for Edmonton, they kind of allowed him to get settled in, and he looks more comfortable here in this second period, the shots that he's faced.
You've got to go back to October the 25th for a game in Florida for his one and only victory of the season. This is the first time he has ever faced the Oilers in his career. Ryan Miller, 14 wins on the season, but the dubious honor, Louis, of having the most losses at 21. He and Enroth both going to the Olympics. As Hall lets a shot go. There's a glove save by Enroth with Nugent Hopkins right on the doorstep.
And I like this move from Hall here. We talked about passing up shot opportunities, and this one here doesn't look like a real difficult shot, but if you see the traffic in front from an angle, these are the kind of shots that go in. A good face-off win by Nugent Hopkins. Nick Schultz pinches down. Eventually it's Hall that just comes in and says, give me that, and walks through. And as he turns and fires the puck, it's like a little bit of a flyby by the defender and the forward. And those are the ones that typically handcuff goalies, with Nugent Hopkins going there for a rebound. It's a good play to get that puck to the net.
Eberle with Perron and Gagne. Eberle keeps it in for David Perron. Gagne to help out as well. Eberle going after it, and the puck does squirt free, and it's picked up by Mike Weber.
Sports Select's Pools Hall of Fame immortalizes the big winners. It's like managing an exclusive storage locker.
Pick your winners today with Pools.
Now, you know, something kind of funny happened here as it was going by. You watch as Steve Ott catches David Perron there. You can see Hemsky reaches over and grabs the stick of...
And Yakupov gave him a whack
Ott,
as
and
well.
it was Yakupov that comes down with the shot with the stick afterwards, as Ott getting under the skin of more Oilers.
And both Yakupov and Ott are in the penalty box.
You need to see that, you know, passion from Nail Yakupov getting involved there, protecting a teammate.
You just can't do it from the bench.
Yeah, you gotta wait till you're out there on the ice first.
But he and Ott will sit, so we've got 4-on-4 with just over 5 minutes left to go in the second period. Girgensons inside the blue line. We'll give it to Flynn. Flynn against Nugent Hopkins. They tie up in behind the net. Justin Schultz pushes it to Hall. Hall plays it back to Schultz. Schultz paired with Andrew Ferris. Hall down the right side, crisscrossing with Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins shot kicked aside by Jonas Enroth.
Good save right there. That was a sneaky one that got through by Hopkins.
Ball is stopped by Stafford. The puck comes free. Delinder gets it to Stafford. Stafford as Girgenson's a little bit anxious, and he's offside.
Yeah, I like the attack here by the Sabres in this game, though. Any chance they've gotten, they're really attacking aggressively. Numbers are getting up the ice. You talked about Tyler Myers, as there's one of the goal scorers, Drew Stafford, that scored the second goal to make it 2-1. But Myers has been up in the play all game long, and at 6'8", has that long stride and the speed to get not only up but then get back afterwards to play defense. So a strong game so far for him.
Ennis dishes off and gets it back again. Upstairs. Great save by Brizgalov. A give and go with Drew Stafford. Petrie pushes Ennis off the puck. Gives it to Gagne. Gagne going after it. He's got Eberle out in front. There it is. And it goes into the corner, and Alex Sulzer's got it. Ehrhoff back to Sulzer. It was a healthy scratch in the last game. Button hook, Stafford inside the line, passes it over to Ennis. Ennis against Gagne. Ennis cutting for the net. Now he'll circle, stop up behind, feed it right out in front. And Ehrhoff did not get a good shot away. Back the other way we go. This is Marincin. Marincin will have to reset. He'll give it to Gagne. Sam Gagne. Blocker save by Enroth at the end of the shift. 22 seconds of 4-on-4 remaining. We've got 3.5 left to go in the second period. Ferentz intercepted that pass from Matt Ellis. Perron now with Hemsky. Perron will give it to Schultz. Schultz, a shot, scores! Justin Schultz ties this game at 2. 4 points in his last 5 games, and this game is knotted.
When we talked about Myers getting up for the Sabres, boy, does Justin Schultz ever get up in the play here. And for the Sabres, they haven't seen Schultz play. And he just blows by everybody, finds himself some open ice, and what a shot here up over top of the blocker of Enroth. He just zips this one home underneath the crossbar to tie this game 2-2. So off the attack, the defenseman activates, and Schultz with a big shot ties it.
His 8th goal of the year. That ties his rookie total from last year. And David Perron has 2 helpers on the year as Yakupov and Ott are out of the penalty box. This is Ott, and it is offside. Our next Score and Win winner, courtesy of Safeway and Post Cereal Shreddies, is Jim Dibner of Edmonton, who has won the $250 gift card from Vision Electronics. On the goal by Justin Schultz. He's got 24 points on the season, Louis. He had 27 last year.
I think it's safe to say he's going to eventually surpass that this year and has really started to find his offensive game again. Concentrating a lot on the defensive side of things, but you're starting to see him snip up the ice like that on a more regular basis.
David Perron had 19 helpers on the year, 41 points for number 27. Weber will give it to McBain. Just over 2.5 minutes left to go in the first period. Bryzgalov to Fraser. Nugent Hopkins quickly to Yakupov. Nugent Hopkins, Yakupov, and Hall. A forward line for the Oilers. And here comes Steve Ott again. Steve Ott throws it right out in front, and a penalty coming up, but that might have been a good one for Andrew Ference, as he had Flynn driving towards the net. A hooking call against the Oiler captain.
Throws the lasso on him here, driving through. Is a nice little move here by Flynn to kind of jolt right through both defenders, gets his stick out, and for Ference, tries to sell that he didn't get his stick in there. I don't know if he did get it in there too deep, to be honest with you. There's been some fluky calls in this one here tonight, a lot of them. And for Ference, didn't like that one very much, but he certainly did interfere a little bit with Flynn going through. But Flynn's hard work pays off. He draws the two.
Ference got an assist on that goal by Justin Schultz, his 9th, and now he'll sit. And the Buffalo Sabres will get their 5th power play of this game with 2 minutes left to go in the period. Stafford down low. D'Agostini, great play by Petrie as he slid across. At D'Agostini. Cody Hodgson with it now. He wants to go out in front for D'Agostini. He was knocked down. Comes back to Stafford at the point. He'll go cross ice and find Ehrhoff. Deflected. Bryzgalov didn't see it, but it got tipped right up into the netting.
And, you know, this is a nice play here. I like this little wrister to the net here. As D'Agostini was the one that was in front, but he kind of gets left alone right in front of Bryzgalov. So good recognition here by Ehrhoff to see that he's alone, gets the puck down into the slot area. And for D'Agostini, you know, just trying to find his game again, and has shuffled around the last few years, had 46 points back in 10-11 with the St. Louis Blues. Knows that he had a good opportunity there. He did get a piece of it, but a good save.
His 5th NHL team of his career. D'Agostini in his 6th NHL season. 1:18 left to go. And the penalty to Andrew Ference. Nick Schultz. Ryan Smith lost it to Ott. Back to the point it comes. Sulzer waiting for it. Alex Sulzer will give it to Linus Omar. Omar under pressure. Goes down low to Foligno. And a good play by Petrie as he broke it up. And it came right to Bryzgalov. And he hangs on.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
Kevin, Linus Omar so effective on the half wall. Nice little dish here down to Foligno, who just can't handle it, but it's because of the quick pressure by Jeff Petrie as he gets his stick in there, tries to make the move a little fast, and he bobbles it right to Bryzgalov, who holds on.
Cody Hodgson waits. He's got Stafford up top, feeds it to the middle for Ennis. He was surrounded. Less than a minute to go in the period. Hodgson, or D'Agostini, a couple of cracks at it. The second one went wide. He's got the puck again. Fraser watching him. D'Agostini. Here's Ennis trying to make a move around Mark Fraser, and Fraser takes him into the board, separates him from the puck, but it's D'Agostini who comes back to the point. Christian Ehrhoff to Drew Stafford, gets it back again. Ehrhoff takes a look, traffic in front. Schultz with a block. Nick Schultz has blocked the most shots for the Oilers this season. Hodgson plays it back to the point, and Ehrhoff's got it. 15 seconds of power play time remaining. Stafford, slow pass down low for D'Agostini. But Bryzgalov was right there.
You know, I think for the Buffalo Sabres right now, they have a little bit of the same problem the Edmonton Oilers are having, being a little bit too cute with the passes, trying to be perfect instead of getting pucks to the net with bodies in front and keeping it simple, and as a result, have not generated a whole lot of high-quality chances on this power play.
2 shots in a power play as this period comes to a close, and the only goal scored by Justin Schultz. He has got 8 goals. Darren ties last year's total.
Scoring summaries brought to you by Worley Parsons Court. Visit worleyparsons.com/careers to find your place on our team. Well, the Oilers team trailed after one period of play despite a goal from a defenseman. It was another defenseman, this time Justin Schultz. And as a result, the Oilers are tied for an 11th time this season after 2 periods of play. Well, Buffalo Sabres coach Ted Nolan, known more as a coach than a hockey player, but back in the 76 to 78 era, he had a chance to play alongside a guy named Wayne Gretzky in Sault Ste. Marie, as both were members of the Greyhounds. And then he made it to the National Hockey League and had a chance to play alongside another great player. Ted Nolan was a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and a guy named Mario Lemieux, close to him in the team photos, even closer on the bench, as Ted Nolan wore number 34 as a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins back in 1985-86, played 18 games for the Penguins that year, and that was it. He retired from hockey as his time on the ice hit a Ted end.
He hasn't done too bad as a coach. Second stint with the Buffalo Sabres.
Thank you.
Spent some time with the Islanders as well, but he is back here, Louis, and he's got his team tied with the Oilers after 40 minutes. The Sabres have won 8 times when they've been tied after 40. The Oilers trying to win their 5th game of the season, knotted after 2, and we are underway in the 3rd period, the second of 4 games on the road for the Oilers before the Olympic break. And the first of 2 meetings between these 2 clubs. They'll be in Edmonton on March the 20th. The Oilers trying to win here in Buffalo for the first time since March the 4th, 2002. Well, they haven't been there this often. The last 10, in fact, the last 10 games, you go back 10 games, there were ties. They're 4-3-1-2, and 2 of those were ties. What are those? That's what Louis wears.
That's tie in hockey.
Yeah, no kidding. There's no ties in hockey. And it's on the intercept from Hall. Yakupov, Nugent Hopkins, and Hall, the forward line. So, Louis, you talked about the coach not wasting any time breaking up the top line as Stafford moves in. Here's Stafford, and he was hooked. And a penalty coming up to Justin Schultz. The net is empty for the Sabres as Yakupov touches it. And a hooking call coming. 43 seconds in.
Little lift from the stick and a little dig in by Hopkins there. Sorry,
mistake.
Kevin, right at the last second. And
I thought it was Schultz. It was Nugent Hopkins.
right there, just a little one on the arm. And he didn't touch him much, but just enough to disrupt Stafford from going through. Stafford's had a real solid game tonight, and his first one back in a while. And good change of speed by him there to set up that opportunity.
Half a dozen power plays for the Buffalo Sabres now. They have generated a total of 7 shots with the man advantage. Here's a chance for Matt Hendricks moving in short. Hendricks scores! The Oilers get their 3rd shorthanded goal of the season. And Edmonton has the lead. It's 3-2.
What a move by Hendricks here as he goes in, looks all calm and makes the deke, goes to the forehand, puts it upstairs, and just a bobbled puck at the blue line. Nice little backhand pass right on the tape. And it was Boyd Gordon who just kind of forces it through on the backhand side. Hendricks gets on his skates, and boy, what a nice move to finish it off.
And Matt Hendricks now in his 9th game in an Oiler uniform has his 2nd goal and his 1st goal in his last 5 games, and it's a shorty. And the Oilers have 3 of those, and they've got a 3-2 lead. Still lots of time on the power play. 1:30 for the Sabres. Alex Sulzer on the near side. Sulzer will give it to Foligno. Get it right back again. Slap pass for Omar. A hard one that goes right to Brizgalov, and he will hang on to it. Well, by swiping a free club card, Sandra Black of Fort Saskatchewan has won a Bradley Original electric smoker courtesy of Safeway and Post Cereal Shreddies. And that's on the shorthanded goal by Matt Hendricks. 57 seconds into the 3rd period. That always makes you feel better when you're sitting in the penalty box.
Yeah, no question about it. You know, for Nugent Hopkins, just Good backtrack by him, but he does get the stick in there a little bit, disrupts Stafford, and then the nice shorthanded goal by Hendricks kind of bails him out.
Seltzer will give it to Ott. Still over a minute of power play time remaining. Omark with the puck being hounded there by Andrew Ferentz. Spins. He'll give it to Ott on the near side. Steve Ott back to Omark. He's got Foligno out in front. Ott being watched by Ferentz as it comes to Hendricks, and he'll backhand it down the ice. Gordon and Marincin get the assists for Martin Marincin, his second NHL helper. Still looking for his first NHL goal. That was his first assist in 5 games. Ennis gets stopped, and here is Perron. Perron to Smith. 28 seconds of power play time remaining, and Ryan Smith will just send that slowly in behind the net. Drew Stafford. Around the boards it goes as the Sabres want to make a change. Ryan Smith. And a penalty coming. And coming out of the box was Ehrhoff, and he was still on the bench when he came off.
Yeah, we're taking a look at the goal here, and it goes off the linesman along the board. So the Oilers got another break there as Marincin puts it around off the lines and right to Gordon, up to Hendricks. And for Matt Hendricks, his 4th of the year, 2nd as an Oiler. A nice little move to stay with it, put it home with a big smile afterwards. And now, as you mentioned, Kevin, Ehrhoff will go off, and it was right at the bench there. This thing's got a little confusing, and right there he plays it before he's on the ice. And too many men for the Buffalo Sabres.
Seltzer had come off, and that's what Ehrhoff was complaining about, that Seltzer had come off, but he wasn't on the ice. And so 2:28 in, he sits in the box. A 4-on-4 for the next 10 seconds. And then the Oilers will get their 5th power play. Ennis going wide. Shot stopped by Brizgalov. Eberle hangs onto it. Nugent Hopkins is out of the box. The Oilers on the power play, as I mentioned, for the 5th time in this game. Taylor Hall down the left side. Taylor Hall rips it around the boards. Gagne waiting for it at the blue line. Not able to keep it in. The Oilers will have to clear the zone. That will allow the Sabres to get their fresh penalty killers out there. Hammered down the ice by Jamie McBain. Picked up by Ryan Smith. Ferguson watching him as he plays it behind the net. Brizgalov will leave it for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Nugent-Hopkins across the blue line. Flips it in for Eberle. Jordan Eberle moving in. Circles the net. This is Eberle to Hall. Hall back up top for Schultz. Schultz to Eberle. Eberle. Cross ice here is Nugent-Hopkins with a shot. Doesn't make it through. And it's cleared down the ice by Girgensons. And he's going to head off. 50 seconds to go with the penalty to Ehrhoff. The Oilers with a 3-2 lead thanks to Matt Hendricks. Sam Gagne wraps it around the boards. Stafford will get there first. Checked by Ryan Smith, though. Smith in turn has to deal with Mike Weber. Clearing attempt, hit. Matt Ellis in the hand. Hemsky races over to keep that puck in. This is Ellis, a backhand, stopped by Hemsky, and then Ellis just knocks down Ellis. Justin Schultz. Down to 10 seconds. As Gagne lays it around the boards. Kalinder to Ott. Ott flips it for Flynn as Ehrhoff steps out of the penalty box. The teams are at even strength. We've played almost 5 minutes of this 3rd period. Perron knocked down right in front of the Sabres bench. Jamie McBain picked up Perron, tips it in. Brizgalov stops it behind the net. Going to leave it there for the captain, Andrew Ferentz. Around the boards it goes. Perron chops it down the ice. Delinder. McBain. McBain will give it right back. Henrik Delinder. And then Cody Hodgson played it to a ghost player. Nobody there.
And Hendricks, good job by him to read the play and get there and put it into the offensive zone.
Zip back in behind the net. Petrie will pick it up. Jesse Joensuu. Joensuu hits Smith with a pass, literally throws it towards the net, and Enrod kicks that one aside. Smith around the boards. Petrie waiting for it on the far side, throws it towards the net. Omar got in the way of it. Ryan Smith will pick it up. Back to Petrie. One-timer. Yoansu trying to get that bouncing puck away from Ehrhoff. Gastic in there as well. Omar and Smith. Smith goes down. Gastic keeps it in temporarily. Now Yoansu races in, gets possession, looks around. Omar picks it up. Right up the middle to Ennis. Outlet to Stafford. Stafford checked by the long reach of Marincin. And he caused an offside. Rogers, Oilers hockey from Buffalo. It's 3-2 Oilers. By RE/MAX, outstanding agents, outstanding results.
We're going to go back to the second period. It was Justin Schultz, 8th goal of the year, tying his career high in goals as he jumps up in the play and just makes a perfect shot on Enroth. Good pass by Perron to find him late. You can hear the chink of the metal as he puts it home to tie it 2-2 at that time.
Averages the most ice time of any Oiler at 23-14 coming into this one. He gets his 4th point in his last 5 games. The Oilers trying to snap a 3-game losing streak here in Buffalo. Nail Yakupov is checked by Talinder. Talinder sends it around the boards for Weber, gets by him. Baroni. Talinder. Flynn gives it right back to him. 2 shots for the Oilers in this period, 1 for Buffalo. Buffalo outshooting Edmonton 31-25 to this point. A shot from 13-12 in the first period, 17-11 in the second period. But the Oilers have a 3-2 lead. Enroth gave it away to Everly. Back to the point. Here's Fraser snapping a shot. Off the end boards it goes. Perron hustling in against Ehrhoff. Gives Ehrhoff a bump as Ott goes between his legs and finds Cody Hodgson. At D'Agostini. Back up top it comes. Here is Hott. Side of the net. Quick shot there. And a good save by Brizgalov off the stick of Jamie McBain. Mark that one down. D'Agostini around the near side for McBain. He throws it way out in front. Hodgson. It's bumped into Brizgalov by Ferentz. And the Oilers get it out. And this is David Perron. David Perron moving in. Perron shot stopped by Enrod. And Louis, if you haven't seen the big man, Tyler Myers, he has got a lower body injury. He will not return to this hockey game.
Tough loss for Buffalo. He was their best player for a while there. He was jumping up on a regular basis, was all over the place. And we saw when that happened. He got up, he was a little bit agitated, and you could tell he was in a little bit of pain.
They are also without Matt Molson. There's 15 goals and 18 assists. He's not going to be back till after the Olympic break.
Your summer is about to get a whole bunch better. Wake surf like a pro behind a 2014 Mastercraft from Martin Motorsports.
Good action at both ends, and here's that chance here as you see the puck come right down under the short side. And it's Jamie McBain that has the nice shot that gets denied, and then David Perron at the end of his shift, he was looking for a change potential, but a little stretch up the middle, finds the puck, gets a good shot away. And Enroth makes a save as well.
And his shot goes wide. Kept in by Talinder. Stafford behind the net. Petrie handles him. Ryan Smith coming in to help out. Drew Stafford stays with it though. Stafford to the near side. Alex Sulzer to the corner and Ryan Smith. Petrie right back for Smith, just out of his reach. Sulzer plays it off the boards. Ryan Smith, good job to stay with it. He will get that puck in deep and allow an easy line change for the 4th line. Ennis gets by Hendricks. Ennis. Shot in by Sulzer. Picked up by Hemsky. He'll play it off the boards. Hendricks, he gets stopped by John Scott. And those two come together again, and Scott knocks down Hendricks. And Weber took down Gordon. McBain leaves it there for Scott. Scott right up the middle. Foligno to McBain. Back to Foligno. Foligno with a backhand, and that one slides wide. Scott keeps it in for McBain. McBain back to the point. Mike Weber throws it towards the net, and that one tipped wide as well. Ellis was in front. Foligno from the corner. Justin Schultz ties him up. Matt Ellis comes up with it. Backhand stopped by Bryzgalov. Right out in front for Foligno. They jam away and he put it home. No, waved off. That goal is waved off. It stays a 3-2 game.
Well, boy, lucky break here, I think, for Edmonton is, I think that it was the intent to blow the whistle, Kevin. And good job down low by Buffalo once again. It's Foligno in there digging away, and you can see there's no whistle till after the puck goes in the net, but I think it's going to be. Ooh, maybe it did blow before it went over, but it was pretty close. But it was the intent to blow the whistle, which is when that play was going to stop.
Referees are Gord Dwyer and Eric Furlat, and they are going to confer back in Toronto.
Interesting. I thought the call would just stand because, you know, it is the referee's discretion at when he felt he was going to blow the whistle. So it doesn't matter if the puck went in before or after the whistle. It was the intent of when he wanted to blow the whistle. So pretty short there is, yeah, was probably what the conversation was all about.
And here's the official notification.
Upon further review, the whistle went, the call on the ice stands, no goal.
Yeah, so it's not before or after. It was that he was in the process of about to blow the whistle and the puck did go in. But good work down low by Buffalo. They've been urgent in this last couple of shifts, getting pucks in deep, driving the puck to the net, and maybe get a little bit of a lucky call there, Edmonton, as that puck was still loose.
10:20 left to go in the third period. As Slingshot goes high and wide. Ehrhoff throws it towards the net. Bryzgalov the save, covers up the rebound and gets the whistle.
Yeah, right back to work. And for Bryzgalov, he's under a little bit of pressure here in the third period. Things started off a little bit slow, but they started to open up as one chance at one end by McBain, the other one by Perron down the other way. Seemed to kind of get the flow of this third period going. And a couple more shots coming Bryzgalov's way, but he's been up to the task.
Out shooting the Oilers 7-3 in this third period. The shot's up to 38. And Scrivens faced 41 in Boston on Saturday. Maroney stopped at center ice. Jurgensen to Flynn. He can't get by Marincin. And then Hendricks took a hit from Jurgensen as he delivered the puck down deep and wanted to head off on a change to number 23.
One of the things I love about the young Latvian Jurgensen is he is a physical player. He's a big body. He works very hard, not afraid to finish checks. And you saw him catch Hendricks.
Flynn had to go cross ice, deflected. Jurgensen plays it around the boards, and it comes right to Hall. Hall given a bump there by Ehrhoff. Eberle, drop pass. Nugent Hopkins, his shot goes off. Mike Weber. Weber stopped behind the net. Eberle gets it to Nugent Hopkins. He gets it back up top. Fraser throws it towards the net. That's deflected wide. Mike Weber on the far side. Jurgensen gets it out to center. Hammered right back in by the captain, Andrew Ference. Cody Hodgson gets by Perron across the blue line. It's Hodgson. Hodgson still has it, threw it towards the net. That was blocked by Fraser, and Fraser plays it to Gagne and quickly to Perron. Perron got Hemsky with him. Drop pass for Gagne. Over to Hemsky. Good play by Weber to break that up. Gagne now to Perron. David Perron circles. He'll give it to Gagne. Gagne plays it around the boards. Waiting for it is Ales Hemsky. He'll move to the high slot. Ales Hemsky doesn't take a shot. Now he'll drift it into the corner for Perron, but the puck was behind him. Gagne's got it. Nick Schultz timers that shot. Ehrhoff the save, but the Oilers keeping the pressure on. This is Hemsky with the puck. To Perron. Perron, Hemsky, and Gagne. This is Hemsky now. Hemsky circles the net out in front. Schultz shot, and that is stopped by Enrod. 3-2 the score here in Buffalo. The game is brought to you by Rogers, bringing fans the fastest speeds and more places. Rogers LTE.
Well, it's the go-ahead goal for the Edmonton Oilers. A little lucky bounce off the linesman as it gets hard around by Martin Marincin. Boyd Gordon gets it right to Matt Hendricks. What a nifty little move by him. Not known for this set of hands, with a perfect finish in the celebration afterwards for Hendricks.
Matt Hendricks with 6 points on the season, 4 goals, 2 of them in an Oiler uniform. Just over 8 minutes left to go in regulation time. Hall, nice move around Sulzer, out in front and over the stick of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, but kept in at the point by Petrie. Hall, Nugent-Hopkins, Yakupov. Out in front for Hall and broken up there by Jamie McBain, but Hall stays with it. He'll give it to Yakupov. Yakupov behind the net for Nugent-Hopkins. Hall right down the middle. Nugent-Hopkins trying to get away from Sulzer to get it to him. Hall comes over and helps out. Pass to Marincin. Marincin throws it towards the net, deflected by Stafford wide. Sulzer under pressure, but right up the middle, and here comes Drew Stafford. Stafford moving in with Omar. Stafford trying to go wide on Petrie. Stafford behind the net, gives it to Omar. Linus Omar plays it back to the point. McBain delivers to Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff throws it towards the net. Hit Petrie. Sits behind the net for Stafford. Drew Stafford. Couldn't play it. Hall. Checked by Omar, but stays on it and flips the puck down the ice to get a line change in for the Oilers. With 7 minutes left to go in regulation time, but I guess he didn't get it down from the red line. It's coming back, so Hall can't get that change in on the icing call.
Yeah, we talk about faceoffs a lot, and obviously an important one coming up here with a goal lead for Edmonton, looking to get a change. Some tired guys on the ice, as you can see Nugent-Hopkins with the mouth open. If there's any line you want to have extended shift, and there's going to be a timeout called here.
Jesse Jones, who was out there, there were 6 Oilers on the ice, so the Oilers finally do have to call timeout. He was like, what?
Just delaying a little bit, but he doesn't have to because the timeout's called, and guys will be able to rejuvenate a little bit here as Dallas Eakins, I think, wisely calls a timeout this period of the game with the time left on the clock. You don't want to allow the Buffalo Sabres to kind of generate a real high-quality chance against.
Let's take a look at the game review while we've got a second. Brought to you by The Brick. Nobody beats The Brick for furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs.
Well, Jeff Petrie got things started really quickly, 32 seconds into the game. It's been Matt Hendricks that's been a real spark plug here, you know, in many ways, but scored the shorthanded goal to go ahead 3-2. And for the Edmonton Oilers, trying to improve their record against the Buffalo Sabres, who have won the last 6 games against the Oilers.
And 3 straight in this building. You got to go back to 2002 for the last Oiler victory in Buffalo. Girgensons lining up against Nugent-Hopkins. From the face-off, won by Girgensons, back to the point. Ehrhoff waits through traffic. And a good save by Brizgalov with Phil Varone right on the doorstep.
Real solid save, and as you mentioned, Varone right on top of him here in the blue paint. For Brizgalov to find this one, little shake of the head, little smile by him. Not only a good save, but just a good job to hold on to it. Doesn't allow a rebound to drop down. Good shot by Ehrhoff. Look at the traffic that he gets that shot through. And I don't know how Brizgalov, I don't think he did see it, to be honest. It was just good positioning by him, good reaction by him on the slap of the stick. And more importantly, sucks it in and swallows it up.
37 saves for Ilya Brizgalov. Trying to win his 7th career game against the Buffalo Sabres. Cody Hodgson, checked by Ferris, plays it all the way back to the point. Steve Ott delivers for Ehrhoff. His shot stopped by Brizgalov, no rebound. And Fraser comes in and cleans house.
There's that little aggression you like by Fraser as Ehrhoff goes to the front of the net and Fraser clears him out. Good drive by Ehrhoff, who's had some real good looks in this game tonight. Brizgalov once again. Just absolutely nothing to be had there on the short side as he comes out, cuts the angle down and reads it perfectly. And a good box out in front of the net to not allow anybody to get in there and screen.
Hodgson wins that faceoff. McBain down low, checked by Hemsky. Cody Hodgson comes to Ott on the near side. Ott goes cross ice and it's picked off there by Hemsky. Got a 2-on-1 now with Hendricks. Hemsky to Hendricks, and that was broken up. Will come back the other way. Hodgson leads the rush with D'Agostini. Fires the shot himself and it goes wide. The water bottle sitting in behind the net as it ends up coming down the ice, and no icing. The Oilers will get that line change in as Ott picks it up, then he'll drop it back for McBain. 6 minutes left to go in regulation time. 40 shots for the Sabres, 28 for the Oilers. Tyler Ennis against Petrie. Petrie takes him into the board, separates him from the puck. Perron flips it ahead, gets it out to center. McBain for the Sabres. And that puck's knocked down by Eberle, and we get a whistle. Rogers Oilers hockey from Buffalo right here on Sportsnet.
Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts. You could win a week of unlimited luxury at Dreams Resorts and Spas, courtesy of redtag.ca. Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today, and you could be our next lucky winner.
5:39 separates the Oilers from their 9th win on the road and 19th victory of the season. And in doing that, they would hand Buffalo their 7th straight loss at home. Linus Ullmark's shot deflected into the corner by Petrie. Another sharp angle shot. Bryzgalov had that all the way. Perron with it now. Perron with Hemsky and Gagne. Hemsky takes Weber into the boards. Around it comes for Ullmark. Linus Ullmark. Pass intercepted by Perron. Came right to Bryzgalov, and he's just going to cover it up. Buffalo against Pittsburgh on Wednesday. The Oilers in New York on Thursday. Martin Marincin getting his 2nd career assist. He got that on the shorthanded goal by Matt Hendricks. Of course, Marincin will be heading off to the Olympics and represent Slovakia. One of the guys that he has idolized is Zdeno Chara, but he also gets to play with Marian Hossa on that Slovakian team. So that's not a couple of bad guys to spend a couple of weeks with and learn about the game.
And learn about work ethic. Both of those guys, Chara and Hossa, known for their work ethic and what they bring to the table each and every night. And for Marincin, got to meet Zdeno Chara after the game in Boston, which was kind of nice.
And Coach Aikens said, okay, Chara, turn this guy into a bona fide veteran player in 2 weeks of tutelage.
Yeah, the crash course on how to play 40 minutes a night.
Perron able to keep it in. Hall right out in front, but Nugent Hopkins couldn't get it to him. Nugent Hopkins with it now. Nice little move there. Drops it back for Hall. Hall in a crowd. It got surrounded by blue and gold. Kalinder will leave it there for Christian Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff has been red hot, as Louis mentioned. 9 points in his last 10 games. Ott with it now. Ott down the middle for McBain. And there is Bryzgalov. Connected coming up. Barry Davis has a preview.
Coming up on the show, we will go back to Buffalo for post-game reaction, and he's back. John Tortorella returns from his suspension to join the Canucks.
All right, Barry, we look forward to that. 4 minutes and 1 second to go here in Buffalo in regulation time. Alex Sulzer squeezed off there by Eberle as Marincin sends it around the boards. McBain down low to keep it in. Petrie with it now. He'll try the other side. Marincin's got it. Hendricks calling for it. Gets it right at center. Matt Hendricks, long shot. That one goes wide. Comes right out. And Enron has to steer it into the corner. Oilers, though, get possession. Jordan Eberle down in the corner to help Boyd Gordon. Hendricks, Gordon, and Eberle. Boyd Gordon, good job to keep it in against Sulzer. And he's going to head off as Ott gets it back to McBain. Buffalo Sabres 4-3-3 in their last 10 at home. Omar moving in. Here's Omar leaping. Stafford the shot as well. Wraparound attempt, and Bryzgalov stays calm and gets the whistle.
If you're looking for commercial insurance or risk management services, contact us to see what the power of insight can do for you.
Nice little drive here by Linus Ullmark as he goes to the inside, gets the first shot away. Drew Stafford has a chance at a second one, but everybody converges back as you see Bryzgalov with another nice save on the far post. The first one there, the second one comes through. I don't know if that hits Marincin or Bryzgalov, but then the wraparound attempt denied, and a good read there by Bryzgalov to get over quickly.
Weber did a good job to keep that puck in. His backhand goes wide. Eberle will move it out to center. Drew Stafford could not keep it in. Jordan Eberle playing with Boyd Gordon. And Matt
Hendricks. Did a lot of shuffling for Dallas Eakins. He said he was going to do. If he didn't feel the lines were going, there wasn't that gel, he was going to mix things up. He's done it a lot in this game tonight. Some different line combinations have gone out there. It's worked for Edmonton, though. They seem to find a little bit of jump in the second period, then in the third period. Matt Hendricks with the go-ahead goal.
Here comes Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall runs into Weber. Ehrhoff comes up with the puck, and he will get it up to center. Fired right back in by Fraser. Fraser playing in his 4th game of the season against the Buffalo Sabres. Well, keep an eye on the Buffalo net. Still plenty of time, though. Just over 2 minutes remaining. Foligno behind the net, and it is Hall who comes out of that pile with the puck, and he'll give it to Perron. Perron, Gagne, Hall, Perron peels off as the puck bounces in. It's picked up there by McBain. He gets knocked down by Gagne. Play continues. Gagne off of McBain, and McBain bounces that puck out to center. Petrie retreats back into his own zone. He'll give it to Marincin. Now a minute 40 left to go in regulation time. Marincin gets the puck in deep. McBain plays it around the boards, and it's picked up there by D'Agostini. Matt D'Agostini starts the rush. Enroth still in the net. Hodgson throws it to the middle. Neither Kalinder or D'Agostini was there. But here's D'Agostini with Hodgson out in front. Takes it there himself. The puck is loose. Comes back to the point. Net is empty now for the Sabres. 6 attackers. Kalinder's shot goes wide. Marincin plays it off the glass. Kalinder battles to keep it in. And it does get sent down the ice by Alashemsky. The net empty with less than a minute to go in the hockey game's regular time. Hodgson gets by Stafford. Caught behind the net. Checked by Petrie. Stafford hauls down Petrie. Schultz knocks down Hodgson. And now Petrie can't get it by Christian Ehrhoff. Here is Sulzer. Fires a shot and a glove save by Bryzgalov. With 36 seconds to go in regulation time.
And just some real good second efforts here by the Buffalo Sabres. Great save by Bryzgalov and this shot by Sulzer. Good boxing out in front by Nick Schultz as you watch. Cody Hodgson trying to get into the shooting lane, but it's Schultz just kind of takes his stick away. But a good job by him. Sorry, he got in front there, right there, not to allow him to get the rebound. I thought he got a piece of Hodgson going through, but it was Bryzgalov all the way that sees it, makes the save, and holds on to it for the whistle. After a clearing attempt gets kept in.
And the Buffalo Sabres have taken a timeout with just 36 seconds on the clock as the Oilers, as we mentioned, you got to go back to March of 2002 for their last victory in the Queen City.
And another real strong performance by Ilya Bryzgalov in this one here, and it kind of built up as the game went on. 13, 18, and 13 shots respectively in the 3 periods for the Buffalo Sabres. And a lot of times, as we talked about, the traffic in front of them, good presence by the Sabres to try and get to Bryzgalov early, but he just kind of stands his ground. And he's had to make some nice saves. No question about that. More importantly, he's had great rebound control tonight and hasn't given him the easy ones in front of him.
And it's just his 4th game against the Eastern Conference. He is 1-1-1. And the net empty for Buffalo. 33.1 seconds to go. Boyd Gordon in there against Steve Ott. And it gets by Christian Ehrhoff. He's got to go back and get it. Ehrhoff with Eberle and Hendricks up front. Ferentz with Gordon and Justin Schultz. Now it comes to McBain, fires a shot, gets deflected over top of the cage. Gordon sends it around the boards, and that puck goes out of play, but it was deflected. So there's 7.9 left on the clock. And that faceoff is coming out, so a break for the Oilers here, as the faceoff will be outside the blue line.
Good hustle once again to create an opportunity. It was Ferentz who just kind of buckles down on the backhand side to get it out the first time, and then it's Gordon that definitely redirects it off a Buffalo player.
Andrew Ferentz throws it towards the empty net, and that one goes wide. And icing the call, but there is just 0.9 seconds showing on the clock.
And they might take a little look here to see if they're going to add a little bit of time when the whistle went. And I think they will probably put a few milliseconds on there. 400 to the second.
Kitty bar the door for the Edmonton Oilers as Boyd Gordon lines up against Steve Ott. And .9 still showing on the clock as they continue to discuss how much time to put back on.
It definitely did trickle down a little bit after the whistle went. But obviously a real important face-off for Boyd Gordon, who's been real strong tonight to the left of Bryzgalov. So not necessarily in a strong part, but even a tie would be good in this situation here with Ott taking the draw, looking to backhand it for a one-timer potentially.
Boyd Gordon has taken the most draws for the Edmonton Oilers, over 1,000 draws. He's 10th in the league.
And I'm kind of surprised that it's not Hodgson going in there taking this draw as a right-handed shot. Actually, they're having a little conversation right now, but it is going to be Ott.
1.9 seconds to go. It's Ott against Gordon. From the face-off, it's tied up, and the Oilers get the victory for the first time since March 4th, 2002, and Ilya Bryzgalov wins his second in a row. He's now got 5 victories on the season, 3-2 the final here in Buffalo.
Rogers Oilers Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Rogers. Live like never before. By the Molson Canadian Beer Fridge, Project Indonesia. See the whole story online. By Ford, go further. By the Rexall family of pharmacies. And by Scotiabank, you're richer than you think.